jihad by the armies of the Muslim countries. Not by you, me, Rubin. What training do I have? There are people with arms in Egypt, in Pakistan, in Saudi Arabia, in Jordan, across the Muslim world.
London and most of Europe is going through something crazy, but England really has a massive problem on their hand because they have hundreds of thousands of these people and they are unabashedly calling for jihad. And again, it starts with the Jews, starts with the Saturday people, it ends with the Sunday people. This is London. Listen to this guy. This is a couple days ago.
The only solution is jihad by the armies of the Muslim countries. Not by you, me, Rubin. What training do I have? There are people with arms in Egypt, in Pakistan, in Saudi Arabia, in Jordan, across the Muslim world. And right now they are boiling like we are.
Seems like London might have an occupation problem because guys like him are occupying London. Every weekend this is happening in London where there are huge freaking rallies. Check this out. They say this is 250,000 people marching in London. And just tell me, do these people all strike you like they have true British values? Do you think they can't stand up for anyone else's freedom of speech? What would they do if they were able to break into the palace where the king is? What do you think would happen to the king, to King Charles and the rest of the family?
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! End apartheid! End apartheid!
End apartheid. It's incredible. Israel is the only country in the region that doesn't have apartheid. In Lebanon, you're not allowed to be a doctor or own land if you're a quote-unquote Palestinian. Jordan is ruled by the Hashemite kingdom, right? So like it's a kingdom and a monarchy that rules over their Palestinian population. We got one more image from the march, I believe. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Victory to the Intifada. And again, I'm not playing this. Yes, I happened to be in Israel last week, but that's not really the issue. This is London. This is London. What are those? If those people think that the Jews are occupying Israel or they're occupying Palestine, who do they think they are to be there? What are you doing there? This is an abject failure of multiculturalism. And unfortunately, in America, we have a much better problem because we've integrated people much better. I think our values are a little clearer. I do think because we have weapons that we will stand up for ourselves a little bit more. We were born out of a revolution and a sense of freedom, and I think we will fight for it a little bit more. I think more and more people are waking up, as crazy as it all is. But London, what are you going to do? You have no leaders that are going to get you out of this problem. You have absolutely nobody, and you will watch your society collapse. Because the other thing that's going to happen is that we know Jews are now starting to leave London, right? So I think, can you Google how many Jews are in England? I guess would be about 500,000, something like that. They will head on out. Most likely, most of them will go to Israel. Some will come to America. I bet a few go to Hungary, actually. There are 260,000 Jews in the UK. And guess what? They're usually pretty good, and they're pretty educated, and they're pretty peaceful and everything else. So you're going to now lose a whole bunch of those people, and you're going to import more of those. Why not show you what London was like in 1932? Because it was a little different. Maybe that's a little heavy-handed. I'm not even sure anymore, actually, right? So that's basically 100 years ago, a little less than 100 years ago. There weren't jihadists on the street calling to destroy countries and kill millions of people. But now you've got that, London. And by the way, the London mayor is completely sympathetic. He's one of them. And the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, is he's just irrelevant, and he's probably on his way out. So they have a huge problem. Phoenix just reminded me that our last day in Israel, we met with the Minister of the Diaspora in Israel. So he deals with the Jewish communities that are outside of Israel. And he gave a brilliant talk. I'm going to try to have him on the show when he comes to Miami. He was quite excellent. And he made a point of saying, because he was talking about what's going on in London, what's going on in Paris, et cetera, he made a point of saying that Hungary actually is the safest place for Jews in Europe. Hungary, which has those crazy border restrictions and doesn't let all these people in, and it's a very small country and largely Christian country. It has about 100,000 Jews in it, and they're safe. I met them, some of them, and there is some, and I mention that because the media constantly lies about Hungary. What is Hungary? It's a fascist place with that Orban who's a fascist and a mean guy.